Hey, welcome to Melbourne for the 2019 All Energy Expo. This is the most exciting expo I've seen in years. We're going to go in and show you all the new technologies, all the advances, everything you've wanted to know about renewable energy, hydrogen energy, battery storage. It's all here. So let's go. We're going to have a look. Come on with me. So here we are as we look around the show. There's so many solar panel companies here and so many different solar panels that I'm not even going to cover this in this video series, because really in the world of solar panels these days, as long as it's a tier 1 panel, as long as it's 18% or more efficient, they're all much of a muchness. So I'm not going to bore you with solar panels. We're going to move on to the exciting stuff. Now, look at this. I have found Ant Energy and the hydrogen fuel cell. So we're going to go straight to Ant. We're going to look at hydrogen. Whilst it's not available just yet, this is the future. So as I've said, we've got the team from Ant Technology. We're going to look at the hydrogen side of things. But what about these ridge blades? What about one of these on your house? Everybody talks to me about wind power, how to do it. Nobody wants a great big windmill in their backyard, but look at that. On the ridge of the house, generates power. Tell me a bit about it, guys.
I'll give you a bit of a spiel about it. These were invented by a British Rolls-Royce jet turbine engineer. They're really clever pieces of kit. They start to turn at almost no wind at all. Wow. And the idea is that you put at least 5 of these on top of your house or on top of your office building or factory, whatever it might be, and these will generate electricity 24/7, 365 days a year. So
fantastic.
They're an amazing complement to solar.
Yeah.
Because solar doesn't work in the dark, and it's not very good in the winter. Whereas these guys will work all day long, and they work especially well in the winter.
Fantastic. I can see it, and if you look at the to your right there, Mr. Cameraman, you can see them on the roof of a house which clearly looks to be in the UK, judging by its construction.
Yes, that's right.
And as you know, solar's gone crazy in the UK, but it's the UK that don't get any sun. So you know,
that's right. We need the wind.
You've got to have the wind. Yeah. And in Australia, they're full of hot air, so it works well here. So this fantastic little unit here is a hydrogen fuel cell. So this makes electricity out of hydrogen. This unit, a 5 kilowatt unit, one of these units could power, or multiple units could power a car, could power a bus. And one of the gentlemen here was just telling me that you had enough of them, you could actually power a train straight from hydrogen. So I'm going to get somebody to talk to us in a little bit about the technology, how it all works. But this is the future. You know, hydrogen, forget electric vehicles, hydrogen is the future. Fantastic technology, and the team from Ant are going to tell us all about it.
This is a 30 kilowatt system. As you can see, it's similar sort of dimensions in the width and height, it's just longer. This 30 kilowatt system goes into the Alstom trains, it goes into buses and trucks in the US and Canada, it goes into cars in Japan, it goes into buses and trucks in China. It has over 600,000 operating hours already.
Wow.
We've done all the integration work in Australia to make it plug and play into a standard solar inverter. And so this energy system and the control blocks on the side with our own proprietary DC-DC coupled hardware that we've developed locally in Melbourne, that turns this machine from an auto type machine, which has got reliability, instant power, to be able to plug straight into any solar inverter right now to give you energy anywhere you need it.
Fantastic.
At single or 3 phase.
Lead is dead.
No, we do still have a small battery as part of it, just for smoothing and peak loading, and it's around economics. Hydrogen's not the panacea to everything, but to replace off-grid diesel energy applications, it's already a cost competitive and will become more and more cost competitive, and it'll be now not should you be doing it, why aren't you doing this?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's where hydrogen's going.
Yep.
And the energy applications for this, this should be happening all around the world.
Great, it will be. It will be. Thank you. So that's great. And energy, you got hydrogen, we've got the ridge blade. Now, walking around a little while, the next thing that caught my eye, look at this. I mean, this is OmniFlow. This is a light unit that's powered by solar and wind in the cleverest possible way, that not only produces light, it's got batteries integrated, it's a power source. You can use it in what they call the Internet of Things. So a network of these lights sites in a development could all have, they could power security cameras, they can have USB charging points at the base, and none of it connected to the mains. Now, whilst this isn't solar per se, this is where things are going. Have a look at OmniFlow. This stuff's great. I want one by my swimming pool. This is a fantastic solution where you don't need mains power. You're integrating solar, wind, battery, boom, lighting. Tell us all about it.
So as you said, Roy, it's a wind and solar powered street lighting system or public lighting system. It's a self-contained unit, has its own batteries within it to store the energy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's all part of IoT, the Internet of Things, you know. Take a look here, and this graphic demonstration on the wall shows you how you can link the unit together. You know, there's Bluetooth they can run, you can have security cameras. It's a great solution, you know. What an innovative approach to public area lighting. I mean, we've all seen the ugly old street light with a little solar panel on the top of it, but I mean, these things are cool. I'd have one in my backyard. You know, I can see these all over houses. Look at, imagine having that at the end of your swimming pool, lighting your pool area at night. Fantastic, guys, fantastic. I know you're going to do well. Good on you. Good to see you at the show.
Thanks, Roy, thank you.
So, you know, you've all heard of EVs and our mate Tesla, but look at this. Check this out. This is a real solar car. Tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, so this is the Arrow One. So this just raced across Australia last week. It did 3,000 kilometres from Darwin to Adelaide.
Amazing.
Finished literally 2 or 3 days ago. It's still full of red dust.
Look at that.
We haven't had a chance to clean it out
That's
yet.
Aussie Outback right there.
Yeah, Aussie Outback all over it, unfortunately, all the way through it. Yeah. So we thought we'd leave it in its authentic, dusted up state for the show this
Great.
week.
Yeah.
So this is one of the fastest solar cars in the world, to 128 kilometres an hour. And, travelled across Australia. It's doing about 80 to 90 kilometres an hour as it travelled across Australia.
That's phenomenal. And you didn't win, but man, what an effort.
Oh, absolutely. Just together, half the teams didn't finish the race this year. It was an absolutely brutal race.
Well, you'll be there next year.
We will.
We'll be cheering on the sidelines.
Sounds fantastic.
And on TV. Yes, not in the middle of it either.
No.
Good, well done.
Thanks very much. Nice to meet you.
So with the increasing popularity of EVs, we're constantly getting asked, how do I power my EV off solar? Here's a great solution. Here's Clenergy's solar carport. So we could just install one of these outside your house. You could have solar car chargers off it. You could pull your 2 EVs into here, charge them straight off your solar. So there's another great idea. Solar EVs, perfect, marriage made in heaven. Hot water heat pumps, most efficient form of water heating. If you're going solar, if you're energy efficient, hot water heat pumps, what a great way to go. So the
other machine here is a pile driver.
So that's what I was here.
Yeah, it's one of the best pile drivers on the market.
Yep.
It's a Geik, again a German machine. These ram the piles in about 2 minutes in good ground.
So you see some pictures behind of solar farms here. Can you imagine those? So how quickly would a megawatt of solar go up with one of these fellas? Any idea?
Megawatt, you're probably looking around about 5 weeks.
Amazing.
Yeah,
5 weeks.
mechanical side.
5 weeks for a megawatt to get the poles rammed.
Yeah, poles, framing,
Poles,
panels.
framing.
All done. Hey, we couldn't do that with manual labour.
No.
Imagine digging all those holes.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
And this is the cleaning. See how efficient
Look
that
at
is.
that. Yeah.
New to the market, and the growth in the solar farms at the moment is crazy. So
Yeah.
Oh, this is a solar spacer.
Oh, great. Yeah.
They go between the panels to keep them square, and makes it a lot quicker. You don't have to. Just a special tool. It's made different sizes for different racking systems.
Great.
Yeah.
Wait till I tell my installers about those.
Yeah, we sell them here.
Awesome.
Okay,
guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Here's a unit that, rather than the panels being mounted fixed, it tracks, capable of tracking the sun. You can see the movement here. So these panels will maximise the output of a ground-based array in, for instance, a solar farming situation. So here's another great piece of technology. So you can just see where things are moving. It's the whole renewable industry keeps advancing, keeps growing. What an opportunity. So now, look, we've looked at some great stuff. As always, we're here and we're looking at batteries because, as you know, solar these days is going to be all about the future, all about storage, all about battery technologies. As you've seen in my previous videos, there's a lot of battery technologies out there. There would be 30 different battery stands here. You name it, they're here. Now, I'm just going to review a few for you in the following segment because, as I've always said, you know, you've got to look at batteries and you go, we know lithium ferrophosphate's a good thing. We know lead carbon's a good thing. Who are the battery companies that are going to be there to back themselves, to back the warranty? Let's just go and visit a few that I like. So here you go. Here's the batteries from the show. So here we are at the BYD stand. Now, we use a lot of BYD product. They're a fantastic battery, lithium ferrophosphate. And in our hybrid residential systems, combined with a SunGrow hybrid inverter, we match it with the BYD battery units, and they're expandable. You can start with 1 or 2 battery blocks and go all the way up in a residential situation to maybe 10 kilowatt hours of storage, which suits most homes. So BYD have all manner of storage solutions. They're one of the biggest players in the market. And when it comes to storage solutions, when it comes to batteries, as you've seen in my other videos, my take on it is it's important to back a brand that is successful, that's big, that's going to be there for the warranty life of the battery. As we walk around the show, there's about 40 different battery opportunities here, and there's more every year. Now, clearly, not all of those are going to be in business for the 10-year warranty period of your battery. So, which horse are you going to ride? Go with something like BYD, fantastic product. So here we are on the Narada stand. So as anybody who's followed my off-grid videos or has checked out our battery blogs will know, Narada lead carbon batteries are our battery of choice for our off-grid systems, the systems where we need a really good amount of power with decent amperage delivery. Narada lead carbon batteries are the battery that we choose. Now, one of the reasons behind that, if you look on the wall behind me, Narada are a massive company. You know, they do containerized storage solutions for all over the world. When you're dealing with a Narada battery, you know you've got quality. The batteries we supply you in your off-grid system, the Narada 2-volt Rex C cell has got a 20-year design life, and if you're running it at 60% depth of discharge, you'll get something in the 5,000 to 5,500 cycles of power. So, you know, you can put a battery bank in and you can rest assured with Narada 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, if you're looking after your battery bank, it's going to look after you because you've gone with Narada lead carbon. Now, Pylon Tech are another top level battery manufacturer, and you know, they're a lithium battery, again, lithium iteration, and yes, yet more batteries. And talking about batteries, who doesn't know the brand Duracell? It just goes to show, batteries are the future. Every company is getting into batteries. So here we are at the Duracell stand, and Duracell can now power your home. Fantastic. So here we are at Power Plus. Now these are a fantastic lithium ferrophosphate battery. Now, as you know from my other videos, LFP is considered the safe lithium. So it's what we use in all of our lithium systems. We'll only use LFP, lithium ferrophosphate, as opposed to lithium ion. Now these batteries will go into a standard server cabinet. Each block is a 4 kilowatt hour battery block, usable for kilowatt hours. So as you can see, you can build up as much battery storage as you need. Now also fantastic for different cabinets. If you step this way, here's a great little cabinet down here. This is the style of thing that we'll be integrating into our new off-grid system for tiny homes. So with tiny homes, space obviously is of an essence. Now this unit here holds 2 of the 4 kilowatt hour usable batteries. So that, with one of our solar systems with our controller, can power your whole tiny home solution. So what makes Saluna different?
Well, Saluna is, we're having a bit of a launch for this brand in Australia this week. So Lithium Australia and DLG Battery, who are a sort of well-known battery maker in China, have partnered to roll out the Saluna brand. So excellent residential products here, so 4 kilowatt hours with a DC hybrid inverter.
Great.
Scalable up to the larger units here, 8 and 12 kilowatt hours.
Excellent.
And the other product that's quite interesting is the 3-phase 15 kilowatt hour unit, which is quite compact. And
that's a very interesting solution.
yes, it is, and generating a fair bit of interest because of its three-phase capability and sort of compact size, Roy.
Yeah, that's great. In a nutshell, with Soluna, we've got a low voltage 48 volt bank for a single phase solution. We've got a high voltage 400 volt DC for a three-phase high voltage solution. So you've got an answer for the whole market, really.
That's right, and looking forward to getting our first container into Melbourne.
Great.
In the next 4 to 5 weeks.
Well, who knows? We might see it in New Zealand one day.
We'll definitely head over. Good to talk to you, Rob.
Thanks, Mike. So here we are with the guys from Loom Solar Shear. This is a fantastic piece of equipment, Australian designed, it's new to the market. It enables one building with multiple tenants, whether they're residential or commercial, to share the solar power. And that's fantastic. It's a solution we've been looking for because in many situations, whether it's an apartment block, a block of flats, or a commercial building with 5 different businesses, solar on the roof could supply all of those people with their power. A Loom allows them to get their solar power as and when they need it, and as it says, it's solar shear. They get to share the power. So let's cut to Jack from Loom, who's going to tell us all about this fantastic product. Pleased to meet you. Hi. This is Solar Shear, so this is really interesting. We've been asked a lot about solar for apartment buildings, solar for blocks of flats, an ability, for instance, for a landlord to put solar on for his tenants, and it's always been a problem in metering. Now you've got a solution.
We do.
Explain how this works.
It's called the SolarKing, and we're able to take the power generated from a single system, a single inverter, and take the input from that and then distribute it to up to 15 single-phase meters. We actually connect behind the meter, so there's no changes to the smart metering infrastructure, so everybody retains their power of choice. In fact, the only thing that the residents will notice is that they've got significantly reduced electricity bills.
That's fantastic. And in a commercial environment where you've got the body corporate or the landlord, investor, call them what you will, the asset owner of the solar, your system then allows the metering to those 15 clients separately for the solar use?
It can do, so we can deliver it. If everybody just buys the system, if the apartment owners just buy the system, they'll all get an equal share of the solar delivered to them at the time where it's going to save them the most amount of money. Or we can deliver it under a PPA agreement where we just maximise the on-site solar consumption and everybody gets discounted electricity rates from the actual solar that they use.
That's fantastic. So whether you're an asset owner looking for a return, whether you're a landlord just wanting to be nice to your tenants and provide a cost-effective living environment, it's a solution.
It is a solution, yeah. It's a world first, and it's exciting. There's nothing else out there that fill this market, fill that sort of 5 to 50 apartment market. So yeah, really excited. Australia designed, Australia made.
Fantastic. Well, we'll even accept that in New Zealand. So talking to Jack on behalf of some of our clients I'm working with currently that have multi-tenancy commercial sites or small apartment buildings. Now, one of the projects I've got in mind has a big roof with 8 tenants underneath it, and they range from an IT company to a cafe to, there's 8 people under the one roof with totally different energy use profiles. Jack, just run through me again how beneficial this is going to be and the capacity in that situation of your 3-phase system.
So with the 3-phase, we can attach 5 units. So if there are 8, we'd actually use 2 solar shares, 2 systems on the roof, 2 inverters into the 2 separate solar shares, and then would wire in the 4 connected units into 2 separate systems. So that means that the 4 units, the 4 commercial units, will actually be able to use that solar energy when they're going to get the most benefit. So if the cafe's booting up in the morning, that's when they'll receive lots of energy. If the IT company gets their aircon in, say like later in the afternoon, let's say, they'll then start receiving the solar energy there. So like sharing economy, split between the 4 units on the case study that can be shown in the medical
put that on the
centre,
website, actually,
can show that actually there's a 55% increase in on-site consumption when compared to 5 individual systems.
And as you mentioned, we can integrate a battery storage solution to it as well, so that you know, in the middle of summer when you're generating through to 8 o'clock at night, the cafe gets here and starts cooking scones at 3 in the morning. They've actually got some battery, and your system will help us manage that too.
Absolutely. So we can hook up a shared battery as well with the inverter, and again the system will deliver that battery storage when it's needed to save the residents or the business owners the most amount of money.
And critically, because the clients I'm working with to do this are largely would be the landlord, for instance, who would own the asset and enter into a power purchase agreement with the tenants at a cheaper price than they're paying now. So they could get cost-effective power off their own roof via the landlord, who could get an okay return on his money and have a green building. So you support the power purchase agreement model and would actually meter that for the landlord, provide them with data every month that they could then invoice onto the tenants.
Absolutely. Actually, one step further than that, we provide a complete monitoring and billing platform so that the PPA owner, the landlord, would be able to see what the system's doing and who's using the power. And the actual individual customers will be able to log on, see what their usage is, so they may be able to change to be able to save more money, but also they'll be able to log on and pay their bills or their reduced electricity bills through the PPA agreement.
That's fantastic, Jack. I can already, my mind's going crazy here. I can already think of 6 or 7 clients that are going to use this. We'll be in touch.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Look forward to it.
And this is a fantastic new innovation in solar. Thanks, Loom. So here we are at the Fronius stand, our old friends Fronius, one of the best inverters in the world. We're going to have a look at Fronius's new hybrid inverter that enables you to have battery storage and your inverter and lots of other features. Let's have a chat to Fronius. All our followers and their clients at SolarKing know that we are a Fronius installer and supplier in New Zealand. And Fronius is a fantastic quality product made in Austria, a multi-generational family-owned company, fantastic. And now what Fronius have done at the show, we have the new Fronius hybrid units, which are fresh to the market. So we've got the Simo 3-phase hybrid. So this is the 3-phase unit, and then we've got the Primo single-phase hybrid. Now both of these units in New Zealand will be paired with a BYD high voltage battery. Now Thomas is here, and Thomas is just going to explain to us some of the new features that Fronius have brought to the market with these hybrid inverters. Thomas, tell us a little bit about these from a residential perspective.
So as a customer, I really want to take care about my energy. I want to have a secure, long-lasting solution, and I want to maximize my self-consumption. So everything that comes from a roof in terms of energy, I want to use by myself in my home. And this is basically what the Gen 24 does. You can natively attach a battery to the Gen 24, which makes it a native hybrid, and you can make use of the battery. And once the grid goes off, once there is an outage, which can happen occasionally, you will be safer and secure with the Gen 24 because you have some emergency power functions. For example, we have the PV point, which is basically an output of the inverter where you can hook up a socket to, providing you power with or without battery when there is an outage. And it comes basically for free. You just have to hook up the socket to it.
So obviously, Thomas, with these a situation like that, you've got power when the sun's shining because you've got no battery.
Yeah.
And the limitation on this is about 10 or 12 amps?
The limitation is 16 amps.
16 amps, so that's quite good. So for those who don't understand, 16 amps is 4 kilowatts. So if you think about your home load and you want to keep your communications going, maybe your fridge freezer going so your food doesn't go off, some LED, lights because it's daytime, but just there's enough power there for the basic circuits to keep running. So 16 amps, if you think about your distribution board at home, how many 10 or 15 amp fuses you've got, typically this will run a few circuits. It's not going to power your entire home, Thomas, but it is going to keep your communications, your telly going, your beer cold, and your internet going.
Exactly.
What more do you need?
Well, if you need more, those can do more. So if you want to power your whole house, they can do it. But you would need an external switch to separate the grid from your building, so that your building can run on an entire island. So you can choose between having a very cost-efficient PV point power, or you can have full backup for your building. It's your choice. The inverter is able to do that.
And that's quite unique in the hybrid space, isn't it? Because all of the other hybrids we've been handling to date are limited to somewhere between 16 and 20 amps. Normally they're 16 amps without battery, or just off solar, and then with solar and battery during the day they'll go 20 amps. So what you're saying is it's possible to engineer with Fronius a higher amperage delivery without the grid.
You can go up to the nominal power of the inverter with the backup power.
So the largest Primo, you're doing an 8.2 in this?
The largest Primo at the moment is a 6.
A 6,
so
okay.
we're going to introduce a 3 to 6 this year. But later on there will be an additional range up to 10. And with the Simo you can go up to 10.
Okay. Now, Thomas, I did hear in conversation that if you had a home with an inverter already, you can still install your hybrid Fronius, and it will interface.
Yes, you can.
It'll understand what's going on with your other inverter.
Yes, you can.
So that's fantastic. So you could have 10 kilowatts of solar, 5 kilowatts on a standard inverter, 5 going to your Primo.
Yeah, you can.
And your battery bank.
Yeah, you can. There is a small limitation because there is communication necessary between those units, and this will come probably a little bit later next year. So if you have any export limitation, for example, then probably you want to go for that solution a little bit later this year. But in general, it is possible, and it will be possible later this year then. Of course.
So really, I mean, what I'm hearing then as sort of the designer, they're putting these systems together, is there's some attributes that Fronius is bringing to the table that I can now design a system that will offer more than we've been able to do in the past. That's correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's exactly what we had in mind when we designed those products.
That's fantastic.
And that on a very long-lasting and long-living time frame, because that's what we really take care. We really want to build solutions that last long, that have a long lifetime, because you don't want to change those things in a building. You pay a lot of money for that, and it should be sustainable.
Well, a standard warranty on these would be 10 years, wouldn't it?
10 years.
And you have an extension available, I believe.
Yes.
And that's another 5 years.
That's up to another 10 years.
Up to another 10 years. So, you know, for a client who wanted peace of mind for 20 years, there's a solution. Just briefly, because most of our residential users are single phase, but with the 3-phase unit, in New Zealand we have a situation where the 3 phases are very seldom equally loaded, and we don't have net metering. How does your 3-phase unit manage in that situation? Because nobody yet's been able to overcome the unbalanced loads across 3 phases, so that you're not importing on one phase and exporting on another.
Yeah, you have, the system knows on which phase it's importing and exporting, and there are certain types of limitations. So you can choose whether you choose the total sum of all phases, or we will introduce soon the opportunity to choose to limit on single phase.
Right. So once we monitor a system, we could actually go in and change settings to ensure as much as possible that one phase, a lazy phase, is not exporting power.
Yeah.
Because that's the solution. I went into a home recently with 3 phases, and the red phase only had an induction cooktop on it.
Yeah.
So twice a day when they turned on everything on the cooktop, 9 kilowatts, it drew power. The rest of the day, 1/3 of the power going through the inverter was going straight to the grid. So this will fix that?
This will be an...
it will help.
It will, yeah.
So solar analytics, as we've seen previous years, solar analytics is probably one of the top monitoring solutions to monitor your solar power and your AC power. And this unit here is what we're going to introduce into monitoring everybody's power in a multi-home environment where there'll be 72 houses. Every single one will have solar, every single one will be monitored. So not only will we track what's going on with the solar, but we'll track what their mains power is doing, when they're using power, how much power they're using, and what their solar contribution is. So in that village of 72 houses, we can build an entire profile of their energy performance, and we can help them become more energy efficient. And solar analytics is part of that solution. fantastic company here in Australia. You saw it first here. Water heating. It's always one of those issues, particularly in our off-grid market. Converting electricity to hot water is a really wasteful exercise in most cases, but Rotex got it nailed. Have a look at this hot water cylinder that is a heat exchanger system that can take energy from any source, from your solar, from your mains. It can even have a heat exchanger working off an aircon unit in an industrial environment. And it turns all that into hot water. Not just hot water for your home, for your bath, but it can heat your pool. It can heat your spa. It can do underfloor heating. And it can do all this from one system. So let's have a talk to the guys from Rotex. This is great. Now, John's going to tell us a little bit about this particular Rotex hot water system.
Morning, gentlemen. Morning, Roy. Nice to meet you, mate. Thanks for popping into our stand at the show. To start in terms of what this system is, it's a water heating plant, but a plant that has a lot of diversity in regards to what it can physically deliver. And when I say physically deliver, I'm referring to jump into the pool, that's nice and warm. You know, floor coil heating or radiator panels, gee, that's a nice warm, house that we live in. And a nice hot shower when required. So it's the touch feel relative to energy collection from various forms, whether it's solar PV, natural gas, electricity, waste heat recovery, as in the large Scottish family restaurant users.
Fantastic.
Ground sourced heat pump, etc. Whichever way that the energy yield is available, the Rotex tank provides the thermal battery in pure water, remaining in the tank unpressurised. The stainless steel coil arrangement connecting from the cold water mains and the hot water out downstream to fixtures, typically maybe on a reticulated loop in a larger residential house that might have 4 bathrooms or more. If mechanical heating, as in floor coil or radiator panels, were to be integrated into the same system, a second inner coil arrangement would be provided.
Fantastic.
If the pool and spa was required, as we're doing a lot of jobs at the moment in Melbourne and Sydney, luxury high-end residential where the footprint's limited, where there is an opportunity for PV injection on the roof, 2 kilowatt, 4 kilowatt, depending upon your space, providing the 3 options of domestic hot water, mechanical heating, pool and spa. The architect's in love with it. All of a sudden the footprint now is 1/3. All of a sudden the installation cost now is 1/3. All of a sudden now your operating costs, purely by being able to provide off-grid energy contribution, 1/3.
Perfect. John, something's occurring to me. We've got a burgeoning market in the dairy sector, so dairy farms.
Yep.
Now,
what temperature typically would the guys look for there?
65 plus.
Okay. The system can supply and support 85 degrees.
Fantastic.
We're looking even at additional equipment that we're going to introduce into our range in the short term that the abattoir industry can use, and to go as high as 95. But 85 degrees at the moment, Roy, is the temperature that we can deliver from the system.
Fantastic. So where my mind's going with this, so we put a decent solar system on a dairy shed.
Exactly right, yep.
He's got, because they have to chill their milk down so fast,
Yes,
now he's invested
yep.
in massive refrigeration plant.
That's it.
We can do heat exchanging
Very much so.
from his refrigeration.
Correct.
We can do drive from a solar.
Yes, yep.
What a solution.
The other component, gentlemen, that then lends itself to that sort of application.
Yeah.
So we're looking at an industrial site that high temperature and volumes required, generating from the majority, or if not all, from PV, is the use of our Actor control module.
Okay.
That basically directs the energy traffic, if you like, from the system, either into the tank as the thermostat's calling for heat, recovering the system after a large dump of heated water in a day or a situation of low yield, low energy yield, wet, cold, wintry day, automatically switches over to mains. Perfect. So we're talking 3-phase, but in an industrial facility like that, they would have 3-phase power on site for other plant and equipment.
Yep.
On a day whereby we've got great yield, systems up to temperature, and recovered. We've used all the hot water we need for that period of time, morning, afternoon, whatever the case may be, but we've got excess. Don't put it into a grid, put it back into the industrial facility, lighting, air conditioning, other plant and equipment, etc. The control module has the ability to direct the flow of the yield relative to what the thermostat needs. Once that's hit its mark, 85 degrees, hey, where else can we go? What else can we direct that to?
So it sends your solar back to your other loads. So you've got a solar load controller,
Yep.
you've got a thermal heating system,
Yes.
you've got multiple energy source
Correct.
capability.
Yes.
What an ideal solution.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It's brilliant.
Good on you, Roy. Very
Brilliant.
nice to meet you.
Yep.
We look forward to doing some business with our agent in New Zealand who, probably needs to have a chat with you pretty quick. I'll leave you with that to take away as a little bit of light reading on the plane.
Thank you. Heat pumps have become a feature in everybody's home. Now, solar-powered heat pumps, totally hybrid. Come and have a look at what Gries doing. Fantastic. So we've segued from the Solar Expo through to the Energy Efficiency Expo, which is part of the whole show. And here we've got Gries technology for heat pumps run from solar or the mains or a combination of the two. So with our big focus on off-grid living and our off-grid systems, this is a fantastic concept to think about if you're looking at an off-grid home or an efficient grid-tied home, is to go to systems like these where the heat pump runs on directly from the solar or as a hybrid from a combination of solar and mains power. So whether you're grid connected or not, you can have the benefits of heating and cooling and be energy efficient at the same time. So Gries have introduced this, they've had it for quite some time, and you can talk to us at SolarKing about the idea and we can be including that in your design process for your incredibly efficient home. Much like everything else at the show, there's 20 or more stands with different racking systems for solar panels. So we're here at Sunlock, and I just want to take a quick look at this very innovative east-west mounted system that I'm going to introduce to our commercial clients. In situations where there's a large power use but a small roof space, this is a really innovative and efficient way of mounting your panels. Have a look at Sunlock. So here's our commercial solar mounting solution that we'll be using on the apartment buildings going into the viaduct and on some of our large commercial development installations, where you can see here, this is a typical trapezoidal iron roof that is being used in a lot of the commercial. So you can see the fixings, you can see the robustness, the strength of the fixings. You've got your EPDM washers here protecting your iron. You've got your weight distribution. This is obviously for a tilt panel fitting, but if you look over here, what we've got here, this solution is going to be absolutely fantastic for the commercial environment we're looking at, where you've got an apartment building with a use that much but a roof that big. So we can cover the whole roof in an east-west configuration using this system. So this is the system that we're going to introduce for a lot of those commercial areas where we just don't have the roof space to do the typical tilted array. So we don't have any shading issues. So we can basically get twice as much panel on the same square meterage of roof. So towards the end of the show, I'm walking around and what do I see? Solar roof tiles. Here's Inbright. Don't have solar panels, have an entire solar roof. So what I found here is amazing. A lot of our clients have been talking to me over the years about how about solar roof tiles? How come we're putting solar on the roof instead of solar being the roof? Now we've seen Elon Musk and Tesla had a go at their solar roof, and that hasn't been quite the success that they thought it would be so far. But what I've found at the show is a company called Inbright. Now this is a solar panel that becomes your roof. It's always been a great idea. Tell me a bit about this. This is new.
Actually, we announced this product in last year, and we start from Europe. It's a thin film technology, so maybe it's not that new, but we really invest a lot of technology inside of this product. So this product, it can replace regular panel instead of use the old one, and you can integrate the whole building into a real BIPV solution.
Fantastic.
Yes, and you can choose different color, and each one is 28 watt, and because we are thin film technology, so it can stand 200 kilogram on it. So even you want to maintain it, or even
you can walk on it.
Yeah, you can stand on it.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very strong. So actually, normally I will show this to our customer, it's very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't afraid of any damage on the rooftop.
Fantastic, because thin film technology has always been a good technology, but it became overtaken a little bit with the other technologies. But what a perfect use. And when we look at the wall here, you know, building integrated PV. On that building, the whole wall is a solar panel. And that's a fantastic solution. Look at this for a little self-contained pod. You know, it's a tiny home, it's a portable office, it's a pod, it's got solar, standalone. Come and have a look, this is really cute. So what a great little product. So we've got pods and railway stations they've seen. What I've seen here today, these are a fantastic solution for a small self-contained environment anywhere you could need one. This is where things are going. It's efficient, it's renewable, it's the way the planet needs to be. On that, we're going to leave the show. You've seen it all today. My feet are sore. I'm going home. Thanks for joining us at All Energy and the Energy Efficiency Expo. And we're out.